57 points to 10, a much better performance from the Wallabies, and we saw this coming. They had a good game against Ireland, didn't get the win. They had a good first half against France, didn't get the win. Obviously a bad second half as well there, but a much better performance today against a good Italy team. I mean, it wasn't a bad Italy team. Italy were okay in patches, but the Wallabies today played a very good, complete game, a game they can be happy of. And now for the rest of the year, they've set a base. They could have beaten Ireland, they thrashed Italy, they had a pretty good game against France. They can beat some of the big teams in the world. They've got some very good players. But in this video, I'll be doing my review. The final whistle is just blown right now. So first of all, if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. I really do appreciate all the support. We've just hit 3,000 subscribers. We're trying to go for 10,000 now. We're trying to go for 100,000 down the line. But of course, I appreciate every single one of the people that are subscribed to the channel, and I will always, absolutely always respond to all the comments, especially the ones that are nice, of course. But thank you so much for all the support, and I really do appreciate all the support and the feedback as well. So 57 points to 10, what a game for the Wallabies. Let's see some of the stats behind why the Wallabies were so good. First of all, 12 entries into the Italian 22 with an average of 4.7 points scored. That is like the All Blacks numbers this morning as well, even better than that. They were 4.4, 4.7 now for the Wallabies. They were clinical every time they got into the opposition 22, and they were very good on defense once Italy entered theirs. Italy was 7 entries to the Wallabies 22 with an average of 1.4 points scored. I mean, what is going on with Italy right now? They've got the players, and I mean, you can't even say no Menoncello, because what happens when Menoncello is not going to be there down the line? What happens when Juan Ignacio Breaks isn't there down the line? So at some point, you have to start getting more depth, and I'm actually glad Adogwu played today, because he's one of those guys I thought that had a good game for Italy, and it shows that they need to give more guys chances. They can't just rely on the same guys, especially in a World Cup cycle. What's going to happen if Italy plays their B team or their lesser team and they lose to a tier 2 country because they don't have the experience, they don't have the game time, they don't understand the system? So a lot of things need to be fixed for Italy. I was really bullish. I was really so positive about Italy going into this tour, thinking they can maybe beat the Wallabies, they can go have a close game against the All Blacks, they can easily beat Japan. 3 from 3 losses, 0 points on the table for them, firm plumb last on the table for the Northern Hemisphere. A very worrying side here. And right now, the way they're playing, I think Canada can have a chance against them. I think the Zimbabwe Sables could have a close game against them. I think Chile could have a good game against them. I think Spain could probably beat them. I think Georgia will beat them if they play like this. So a lot of things to fix for Italy. They can't just play the same players the whole time. And now that they didn't have those guys playing, it was a terrible game. But we'll get into some of the more stats, of course. 12 entries for the Wallabies into the opposition 22, 7 for Italy, 4 conversions in the 22-meter line for the Wallabies, 1 for Italy. That's one of those stats. You have to be better, you have to be more clinical, you have to convert more. 11 line breaks for the Wallabies, only 1 for Italy. I mean, what are they even doing on the field nowadays? They're sticking to the same structure the whole time, but I understand the structures worked before for Italy. They've won some big games, but they are very poor when it comes to playing outside of structure, when questions are thrown their way, when another team like the Wallabies kind of figure out what's going on and have an answer to that. The Italian team are very poor at coming up with solutions on the spot throughout the game, whereas the Wallabies today did really good of just absolutely imposing themselves on the Italian team and making sure they couldn't do anything. They literally suffocated the Italian team today. Well done to the Wallabies. A much better game. It's so good seeing the Wallabies playing some good rugby. They've got the players, they've got the talent, they've got the passionate fans as well. I mean, I grew up, obviously I am a South African fan, but I love that Wallabies teams with the Drew Mitchells, like the Matt Gitsos, the Mortlocks, the Ashley Adam Coopers, those guys. I grew up watching those guys, Will Genia, Quade Cooper, when the Wallabies were really good. And I get the same kind of vibes from this team. They've got the players that can get it done. They've got players that can win World Player of the Year as well. I mean, Iketal was awesome today. Dangunu was good off the bench. Max Jorgensen was great. Harry Potter was awesome. And there's still guys like Dylan Peach as well who play some really good rugby. McDermott was good when he came on. Lonergan was good. Rob Valentini, Fraser McWright, Carlo Tizzano, a guy I've been speaking about for a while now. A phenomenal rugby player, getting an opportunity and showing he has what it takes to be in the 23 every single week. There's good depth there right now. And I think, honestly, if the Wallabies did maybe have a closer game in the second half against France and got over the line against Ireland, we'd be talking about them as a potential team that has a chance to win the next World Cup. I still think they have a chance playing in their home World Cup. This team's getting better, they're getting more experience. Of course, there's a few things still to iron out, a few players to get more experience in some key positions as well, but there are improvements in the Wallabies team. First of all, the competitiveness for 80 minutes, the ability to actually start the game off strong and not need to come back in the second half like last year. The ability for the bench to come on and make an impact is getting a lot better. It's not just the starting 15 anymore. I mean, there were some really good guys from the bench today, and I really like some of the players that they've added to the squad, gaining some experience. So the Wallabies are on the up. Even if they didn't beat Ireland, but even if they did, I would still be saying the same stuff. Still a few things to iron out, but they are on the up. 163 carries for the Wallabies. I don't think that's right. 84 carries for Italy. Italy were nowhere today. The Wallabies starved Italy of possession. Every time Italy had the ball, they were making mistakes, like the conditions just weren't made for them. And if Italy is struggling in these conditions now, or struggling to play in Australia, it's going to be a very long day for them next year at the World Cup. So they have a lot of things to fix. It's a bit of a different ball game playing in the Southern Hemisphere. The conditions are completely different. The atmosphere is different. The ball feels different, especially with the humidity. Trust me, I've played in very humid places before. It's almost like playing in the rain. It's a much different game of rugby to play. It feels slower. It's a whole different ball game. 15 kicks for the Wallabies, 14 for Italy, 215 post-contact meters for the Wallabies, 94 for Italy. Shocking stats there. Now the defensive profile, where the defense differences were made: 6 dominant tackles for the Wallabies, 2 for Italy. 112 tackles made by the Wallabies, 222 by Italy. 42 tackles missed for Italy, and this is just one of those things. Every single time they have a bad game, it's because they didn't get a lot of tackles. They missed a lot of their tackles. They didn't have the ball for a long period of time either. And I know Italy is a team, they say, or they don't want to have possession. They want to kick the ball away and force other teams to make mistakes. That's not actually that true. If you think of the games Italy have won, the games they've played well, they've actually had possession of the ball. They made all their tackles. They were physically dominant, physically up for it. 42 missed tackles tells me this team was not mentally up for it today, and they got completely outplayed by the Wallabies. I mean, the scoreboard tells the whole story as well. 11 missed tackles for the Wallabies, which is still a lot, but not 42. I mean, 4 times more missed tackles is absolutely absurd. 7 turnovers, 1 for the Wallabies, 5 for Italy, 2 tackle turnovers for Italy. 11 offloads allowed for the Wallabies. Italy allowed 11 offloads for the Wallabies, 5 allowed for Italy. Now looking at some of the other things here, ruck speed. The average ruck speed today, 5 seconds for the Wallabies, 4.92 seconds for Italy. Of course, I don't really like to look at the average because of the box kicks, but 43% of the Wallabies rucks were less than 3 seconds. 50% of Italy's rucks was less than 3 seconds. So they had the platform, they had the opportunities, they just didn't make it happen when they had the ball. They were starved of possession because of their own mistakes. It wasn't like the Wallabies were just keeping possession from them the whole time. Italy were their own worst enemies today, and of course the Wallabies just pitched up. Those two things together, it's never going to be good. 10 scrums for Italy, 88% win rates. Of course, Italy do have a good scrum. They do have a good line-out with 82% line-out wins. 4 scrums for the Wallabies today, 100% win rate. I mean, you can't get better than 100%, so that's very good. 89% line-out win rates. 8 restarts received versus 3 for Italy. Just looking at some of the other things here, 206 passes for the Wallabies, 113 for Italy, 163 ball carries for the Wallabies. And I mean, it stands out to me there. More than 100 post-contact meters difference. The Wallabies getting better there. More than 10 line breaks difference is crazy as well. So that just shows the Wallabies came to play today. They back their natural ability. They have those players. They have those star players like a Jorgensen, like all those players. They're Tom Wright, Harry Potter. Now looking at some of the individual performances today, Josh Canham with 15 points, 3 tries scored. Very good game for him. 15 carries for Len Ikitau. That's what you want to see from Len Ikitau. Not like last week's performance. 15 carries. That's how he plays. He gets busy. He gets involved all the time. When he's happy, you can see he's happy by the way he's playing. 32 tackles completed for Ross Vincent. That is a huge number of tackles. And I will say the one positive for Italy throughout this tour, Ross Vincent, he's been absolutely everywhere. He's been awesome, and it's just a shame that his players around him haven't pitched up the same way, because 32 tackles is an insane amount of tackles. That is very good from Ross Vincent. 4 line breaks for Harry Potter. He was everywhere today. He might have just played himself back into the starting lineup, and I thought he was very good at the end of last year as well. So a good game for Harry Potter. 3 turnovers, 1 for Carlo Tizzano, another guy that I think has to be in the 23 every week. Last year when he was playing from the bench, he would score a try every game. He's such a good player. 8 defenders beaten for Harry Potter, and of course 66 successful passes for Ryan Lonergan. Josh Canham with 15 carries, Ryan Lonergan with 10 carries, Ben Donaldson with 7, so a good impact there from Ben Donaldson. Points scored. 15 carries for Lenny Cattell, 15 for Josh Canham, and 14 carries for Harry Potter. Looking at the kicks as well, 5 for Ryan Lonergan, 4 for Tom Wright, and 4 for Lorenzo Pani. Not much for Paolo Garbisi at all. Meters carried, 149 meters carried for Harry Potter, 52 for Jeremy Williams, and 49 for Max Jorgensen. Once again, Harry Potter had an absolutely brilliant game today. So it just goes to show those little stats that you can see at the end of the game. The conversion rate for the Wallabies, the line breaks, capitalizing on the line breaks, being clinical in the opposition 22, post-contact meters. All these little things add up in such a big way. And then for Italy, when they had the ball, they did not make any use of it, and they also were starved of possession a lot today because of their own undoing. So a very good game for the Wallabies, very positive. Their season's just getting started now. They have a few tests coming up. I think they're playing the Springboks later. They had the Bledisloe Cup as well this year. They're playing Argentina in a 2-match series as well. So a lot more rugby to come. Still the November series as well. Wallabies are on the up. It's going to be a very exciting season of Southern Hemisphere rugby. Of course, not a rugby championship this year, so it's a bit different because of the Greatest Rivalry series, but still a lot of exciting things to come. Italy, they need a break right now. They need to sort some things out. I don't think it's the coach's fault. I actually think the last few games have been a result of the players not being up for it, not just the coaching. So a lot of things to fix, but please let me know down below who is your favorite player, who is your man of the match. For me, it's got to be Harry Potter. He was awesome today. He was absolutely everywhere. So well done to the Wallabies. A lot of work to do for Italy. Thank you so much for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.